Immortals if we can go down, that's fine, and we know we have to fight really late. And it seemed like they knew that condition from very early.
That's a very important skill to have. You know, Kobe was talking earlier about one of the most important things that a jungler has to show is that they can play from behind. It's true of an entire team, right? Being able to extend an advantage and exploit weakness when you're massively ahead is one thing, but TSM really did show that they know how to hang around in the game. They know how to stay alive, take the fights that they can fight, give up what they have to give up, you know, even to the very end, giving up the first inhibitor when they knew they couldn't contest it, then fighting hard for the second one as Elder Dragon was expiring, and it was the right choice. It worked out for them here.
Zyra, Ashe, let's just go for the bot lane. Take it out. I don't want to play against that, says Immortals. 1-2 for their fan phase 1. And the Camille, LeBlanc, and possibly Rango Knife Cat for the last one on TSM side.
So Immortals not wanting to give up that second phase Malzahar support really kind of shows that they're not willing to first pick it. They're not willing to first pick the Ashe. That's what TSM did last time. So they're saying, we won't first pick it, so you're not getting a second rotation, because they know that TSM wants that, and TSM very likely going to take out their ban on Rengar here. One of the things that is important to remember is because there's less time per pick in this draft phase, a lot of teams will take the full 30 seconds, even if they know their pick within the first 5, because they'll talk about the next steps in the draft, what they have to do later, so they hopefully don't have a misstep like what happened with Immortals there last time.
Get to save a little bit of time. Roll it over, if you will. Mid lane pick for Pobelter takes out the Syndra first. Continues to play a different set of champions around the board. Nicely done there.
Yeah, and Syndra is certainly first pick worthy. It's very, very strong. And this probably will prompt a response of a mid laner in the first 3 picks from TSM. But Ryze is on the board. Cassio's on the board. It's not like he's going to be pushed way down in the priority. So I don't think that TSM is going to feel too concerned about this.
Sir Bjergsen knows the matchup quite well.
Yeah, of course.
Haunter taking up Wild Turtles Varus. So they say, oh, Cody, son, you're going to ban 80 carries. We'll take that Varus you feel so comfortable on in the beginning of the LCS here. Lee Sin is led through, and Svenskeren is going to grab that.
And I believe that was banned away last time.
Yes, it was.
So
it was phase 2, ban 1.
Exactly. So Sven is going to be able to get one of his signature champions. He is known for having one of the best, if not the best, Lee Sin in the league. This guy is incredible as a champion. Excited to see him perform on it after what we saw him do to people at Worlds.
Really. I mentioned earlier, I was like, yeah, he can carry the game 1 through 5. He gets everybody. But it was also the 30, 40-minute late game where you feel like Lee Sin falls off, has to make a beautiful kick to initiate a fight, which he's doing over and over again.
And that is the strength of the champion, right? You have this powerful early game where you can kind of do it all yourself. Later in the game, you're not the one executing those kills, but you can still make the big-time plays. Kick in the right target, that can end the game. And Svenskeren's a guy who can set it up. But Dardoch is looking at the Kha'Zix, so he's going to get a really powerful assassin jungler. Won't be pushed down so far in that priority, but they're giving up quite a bit to do this. So they lock in the Maokai, great, you have a great jungler, you have a great top side of the map, but now it's Cody-san who may pay for this. We may see more of the target bans on the 80 carries, because Ashe was already banned out by Immortals themselves. So TSM knows they only have to put 1 ban on Jhin, then they can ban a non-utility.
Exactly.
And where does Cody-san go? How deep is his champion pool?
And really, we figure out what kind of the changes from last game, because where Dardoch's Kha'Zix is was Cody-san's Varus. That second pick was for him. Dardoch said, I'm going to get focused, go down to the Olaf. So now we see the flip side of that, where it's Cody that gets focused. Ryze now, as that's going to go up against Pobelter's Syndra for Bjergsen.
And it is the Jhin. So this is the kind of trifecta of utility 80 carries. And that is okay. There's other great champions you can play. We saw Twitch being played. We've seen Vayne in other leagues. There are a lot of options, but how much confidence does Cody-san have in playing them? Does TSM double ban here, or do they say, hey, we don't actually care what you play past this trifecta, now we can start focusing your support too? This is an interesting question for TSM. I'm very excited to see what they're going to go for. I would expect another 80 carry ban pile on.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Take away the safe option for him, safe kind of farming option. Now he must play something that is kind of pretty aggressive or kind of very scaling champion.
We did see Twitch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a Piglet thing in comfort, but
could be
still saw it was a bit viable with the composition, able to protect him.
Could be
a bit of long range.
Sivir. There are a lot of options, right? But what he goes for is going to be answering a lot of the questions here.
Haunter going to get his Poppy Toppy. That'll feel real good for him. They're going to wait. Like you said, they probably know Haunter's going to get that, but they have 15 seconds to go ahead and talk this out. You can see Parth chatting it up.
Exactly. You can talk about, hey, okay, what do we want to do if they pick X? What do we want to do if they pick Y? You already know you want that Poppy. And Immortals does ban out the Nautilus this time, so they're going to have a matchup they probably expected for last game, which would be the Maokai versus the Poppy. You know, that's another tank, or the Shen, something like that. But it's not going to be Haunter on the Nautilus, and we'll see how he's able to perform on a playmaker like Poppy.
10 seconds left on this pick.
All right,
also Caitlyn as well. Get that range in there. Continue with a bit of the other poke that you have.
And it makes a lot of sense. You know, this is the safer pick than going for some of those hyper carries that we had discussed. Caitlyn, obviously fantastic sieging champion, has been very popular in the past, but it has not really been popular this year in this patch, in this meta. Has fallen off a lot. Morgana, very interesting pick. I think it can work quite well against these kind of compositions if you can time it well. But I mean, the problem is there's quite a few things that you can use to kind of poke it off. Obviously, if you get hit by one Q from Bjergsen, your Black Shield is gone. But if you use that perfectly, then you can immune Lee Sin kicks, you can immune the Corruption Chains from the Varus as well. I think there's almost no way Biofrost picks the Thresh because he's countering himself into the Morgana. I'm very likely going to be the
I was thinking that. I'm like, yeah, I'd love to see it still.
That'd be some confidence.
Trick it up.
Yeah.
So Ole does go back to the Morgana. Played that yesterday as well. He likes those Fog of War initiations, whether he's, like you said, flashing forward on Mel's or doing it any other way. So compositions definitely switch up here. They trade jungler over to Dardoch's side for that Kha'Zix. We'll see how they continue this game. It is Cody-san we're kind of watching on Immortals' side here, as he is the one that was kind of pushed down to Caitlyn on this one. And TSM has gotten a great draft for themselves.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty worried for the Immortals bot lane here because Cody-san has been pushed down quite a lot. He's a new player. Ole is a new guy with the team as well. You know, they're still building that synergy, and I think that TSM has a much better bot lane matchup here. Karma into Morgana, I think, is very strong. The Black Shield, yeah, sure, you're reducing team damage, but you're not stopping CC or anything really, unless you get like a root from Karma W, but that's probably not going to happen.
And I don't think you're alone in the fear for their bot lane, because it was Zyra, Ashe, Malzahar, Taric that they banned as well.
Yeah.
So they could get somewhat of an easy go here. It doesn't look like they may have it. It's going to be toe-to-toe for these 80 carries and bots. You see Karma Varus versus Caitlyn Morgana, switching it up as well. Fullbelter brings out the Syndra. We'll see if he can power through Bjergsen this time, who came through 10, 1, and 11 on that cast after dying just once in the early game.
He was crushing, and Ryze is another champion he has shown he can do the same thing on. And to your point, it's very interesting when teams do kind of ban out bot lane for their opponents, and then their opponents turn around and kind of throw that right back at them, right? So they were banning out their opponents to try to get a good setup in the first draft phase. But because they did that, Wild Turtle still got the Varus, Biofrost still got the Karma, I feel like they weren't very effective, and they're the ones who kind of ended up having those bans used against them.
And this will be Turtle's spring split start on that Varus. It was Kalista Ashe for him previously versus Cloud9.
Yeah, he's looked pretty good on the Ashe. The Kalista game really did not kind of pan out, even though he had some kills. His damage was very, very low, and he was trying something with of a pretty new build. You know, he went Essence Reaver, he went Death Dance, things that are not commonly associated with the Kalista. And while I could understand the thought process behind it, it made a lot of sense. It didn't work out for that game.
30 seconds until
like a big line of scrimmage here, not even some just deep wards or vision to see if they are holding their spot on the other side of the map for either team. We'll see how Haunter can actually take control of this lane as well. If he gets a little pressure for Svenskeren, it could be quite nice for him. Add a little bit more pressure early on the map.
Certainly could, and it's a lane that can definitely go both ways. You know, the Maokai obviously has fantastic gank assist if Kha'Zix wants to come in. One interaction you'll have to look out for there is how good Haunter is with his W, that heroic presence, because that can actually stop Dardoch leaping in on the Kha'Zix to go for those kills. So, you know, the interactions there are pretty interesting. Another thing I also do really personally like about Morgana is how easy it is to trigger all your Spell Thieves procs with the pool. You can get really early Frostfang upgrade, and you can pretty much permanently have that thing on cooldown. You get so much gold out of Morgana from that. It's easier than pretty much any other champion to always have it procced, and actually can make a big difference. Especially
like his true love. He finds it on Morgana, Malzahar.
There you go, man.
Sorry to interrupt you, though.
No, go right ahead, Riv. Always happy
my
to hear
turn
you
now.
talk.
It's my turn now.
Could be your turn whenever you want, Riv.
A little damage onto Ole to start off this bottom lane. Still taking some inner flames as well, but he does grab brush control. That's what makes it a bit more scary here. Okay, he walks out, but whatever. And get those dark bindings.
Pool. So pool does allow you to push. It is going to give you that shove advantage, which is kind of what they're hoping for. And as I said, you can proc those spell thieves, so there it is. You got double proc instantly, and it's quite a nice little pushing utility that you do have. They're going to get that early level 2. And TSM was able to contest that enough to get it right back.
Oh, catches Turtle, time hit. Hail of arrows back. Biofrost steps up as well. AD carries trade, his supports go at it. Nicely done. Wild Turtle says, all right, getting a little crazy. We may do that again. Let's get some vision on the bot lane. Dardoch's going to take Scuttle on that side, but not before getting some vision.
And they were kind of, Pobelter's taking way too much damage here.
It looks like Dardoch as well saw this happening. He's going to force the flash. I'm sorry, Ghost. That's not flash at all. Out of Bjergsen as he heads towards the top side of the river. Safety Svenskeren in there, and then Dardoch heads back to the Scuttle.
And Pobelter, he's the one who has to blow his flash, not respecting the level 3 there from Bjergsen. So it is a summoner trade, but still very much in the advantage of Bjergsen, because that Ghost is a much shorter cooldown. One combo also they have to watch out for in the bot lane as TSM side is Dark Binding into Trap. And they showed that off. That was that great trade onto Turtle. If you land that Dark Binding, you can easily layer up that trap. But Flame could be in trouble here. Svenskeren pathing the top side, and he is shoved up.
It actually looked good. I was like, Flame's doing really well. Maybe Svenskeren is just kind of allowing that damage to come in. Baits him. Those twisted advanced Qs can really chunk your health away.
Yeah.
Only about 2 or 3 to Haunter. And they're almost able to play off of that bait, but good warding in from Flame keeps himself quite safe here in the early game.
Exactly, and good presence of mind. The wave was already pushing back towards him, so even if you miss 1 or 2 CS, it will not freeze on you. You don't need to be all the way up there. You can be patient. He plays it smart, has it timed out, and thus avoids the gank.
Spending quite a bit of time down here for Dardoch. Lose too much. Haunter going in to get some deep wards on the top side.
I think Dardoch is kind of trying to hang around mid lane because he knows Pobelter is flashless, and he's kind of saying, okay, if I were you, Svenskeren, what would I do? Well, I'd probably gank the flashless mid laner, try to snowball Bjergsen, right? It's going to be a great option pretty much every single game. So he wants to be there for the counter gank and make sure that nothing like that can happen. There's the combo, there's the trap, layered nicely. Look at that damage, and that is great stuff from Ole and Cody-san.
Yep, they're feeling real nice in that lane. Hopefully they can keep it up. This only brings pressure down from Svenskeren, so knowing they can get themselves in trouble, they back up just a little bit.
Look, he's hitting every single binding.
That Morgana has been his pick. It seems like Ole continues to bring that out.
I'm really impressed because I really do feel like Karma should have the advantage, but TSM is just doing a poor job avoiding the bindings, and credit obviously to Ole as well. I mean, he is hitting these non-stop. If you don't hit those bindings on Morgana, your threat just goes so far down. Another one.
So, well, and thinking of that too, you know you have those second nature thoughts on a champion you've played from 1 to 30. You're already thinking, hey, maybe he's still under the turret. It looks like Cody-san's good. I'm going to go see if I can hit. That's always in his mind, it seems, with these champions. And if it's with more, we have a lot to see from Ole.
You definitely do. And one of the big things there is now the back timing is really messed up. They're offset. So Biofrost-based, Turtle had to stay around. If he does not push this out, his opponents will come back with the BF Sword. They're going to be there to collect this, and he's going to be the one that loses CS under turret. Because his opponents will get back so much faster, they'll shove it in, and now it's a 3-man roam from TSM looking for a Pobelter. See if I can get anything done. Doesn't look like a Pobelter playing very safe, knows he is at risk.
Biofrost scrying out the wards, placing more deep as well, and much more controlled game here from TSM in the early game.
Yeah. I like that move from Biofrost. There's no point in going straight back to bot lane because the backs were kind of messed up there, so he's not wasting his time. He hits the Scryer's Bloom, knows he's safe to ward, gets some deep wards, which will protect them later, and then synchronizes his timing back with Turtle in the bot lane. So this is really well thought out, really well timed out, and you know, it's the basics, but it's really strong basics from Biofrost.
Also a ping on that ward. I believe Cody-san just placed in that bot forward brush, possibly for Flame on an engage. So we may see a teleport coming down to the bot lane at some point soon.
Certainly could. Both these champions are big impact TP flankers. especially in the early game. But Dardoch has been spotted out, and we'll see what does Sven want to do with this. He knows Dardoch is bot side. The answer is very likely going to be invade for the blue. So they can try to deny this away from Pobelter. And this advantage is gained from Biofrost. The work that he did. Svenskeren is now sealing away the blue. So that just goes to show how much value can be placed on that. And it's something that's a small move, but look at that. Now his mid laner's denied the blue.
Pobelter not having the greatest start on this one. Still in an all right position here. Questioning out mid, says, I wonder where this went. We're probably going to realize they're not going to have too many resources to grab on that left side of the map.
Yep, and now they go. They want to try to take up this blue for Pobelter. It's already going to be gone. Still, Pobelter has laned well. He is up in CS. You know, he has Lost Chapter, so he is going to be able to have enough mana to kind of go through this. If he'd gone for a different option, more aggressive option, or even MR, he may have been in more trouble there with just the lower amount of mana. Oh, Flame just W'd forward, and Svenskeren is up here, but looks like they don't
Gets
really
a push back,
for it.
grabs a little bit of distance in the lane. He's staying just in the fog, so Flame feels the fight a little bit more. Says, yeah, let's keep it going. It is going to be Dardoch coming up, dodges back into it. You don't see that too many times on a Sonic Wave.
He had no panic there from Flame at all. He knows he has Haunter low on mana, so he feels confident to just sidestep that, knowing even if Svenskeren gets in, he thinks he can get out. So not even a summoner blown. Really nice play there from Flame. And this is something he struggled with yesterday, actually, in their previous game. He was getting caught out and killed early game quite often. So good little adaptations, and now they're going to look for the dive. Here they go.
Lane that tanks first. He is pretty tanky. Twisted advance. He actually is just going to walk it out. Beautifully done.
And this is what I was talking about. Haunter missed the heroic presence.
Yeah.
He mistimed it. Dardoch was flying in there. If you hit that, you can interrupt that stun. Not sure if it would have made the difference, but certainly should have tried. One more turret shot could have taken down Flame. Maybe makes that a one-for-one trade. Hard to say.
To recap a word there, as well as patience. Not being scared of the play. Flame throughout that whole thing. Very, very patient, and just walk and get the kill. Haunter finds kind of the same result as the start of last game, getting hit up under his turret. He was still able to come up big. We'll see how they do it once again.
And here it is. And
collected.
I'm assuming he still does have it. Look at this. He's just late. Now he puts it up. That's just pretty late, and that would have been able to break up that combo.
Was it because of the arcane smash?
No, I mean, he was out of the CC. It had expired, so you know, probably Flame wouldn't have died. Maybe you get a flash, maybe you get something. But you should. It's always a play you should be going for, right? And that's kind of showing your mechanics, showing how quick you are with that. Because that, especially in later stages of the game, if that Kha'Zix is jumping onto Wild Turtle or something, you must hit that.
Yeah.
You cannot allow that guy to come through.
No, that is true. You're hitting it now if you're going to be hitting it later.
Yep.
Tied up in the mid lane. Not as much pressure here for the mid laners after Pobelter was able to get his first escape. As we said, Dardoch was giving him a bit of safety and presence. Flame continues to keep this top lane pushed, so whether or not he calls or continues to call Svenskeren up for the respect, Flame's going to have a lot of room to work with come teleport time.
A lot of credit to TSM's warding, though. They have tracked Dardoch well, especially on the bot side. You can see bot side littered with wards. They got one by the dragon. They got one above the red pit. So Bjergsen knows he's here, and Svenskeren has arrived. Do they go for it?
The ultimate did practically nothing. Is forced to flash out. Nice scout of the week. Oh, the Realm Warp. Oh, what a zoning Realm Warp as well. He's not going to take it. They find Pobelter with the mind games. Biofrost on the roam here. They're going to have to leave Dardoch out to dry. Or, I'm sorry, Biofrost out to dry. But he gets himself out safely with a flash.
Gets out, and that was a beautiful ultimate from Bjergsen, as you call it. They zone him out. They cut off that path. He's too worried about going that way. Steps right back into it. Bjergsen commits with the flash. And Pobelter knows it's all over. Saves the cleanse, but he goes down.
Rod of Ages finished up for Bjergsen now after this little fight. And I was just saying, they didn't put too much more pressure back to mid, but both junglers are ready.
Yeah, exactly. And TSM was the ones who knew they wanted to make this play. They saw Dardoch on the wards. They commit to it. There's the Realm Warp. They walk right out of it. Pobelter caught between a rock and a hard place. Not going to waste the cleanse. Does go down. And then Dardoch. This is frustrating. He commits a flash for the support. Look at his health. He barely survives and is able to get out. And that is definitely annoying for Dardoch. Would have loved to at least grab that kill back.
Absolutely. Now towards the turret again for Flame. Let's see if we find Dardoch coming back up here to take down Haunter. Let's have a little bit of HP now for himself. Not too many resistance stats.
Yeah. Haunter, you know, he is kind of getting bullied a bit. He is losing in pressure a bit. but it's okay for Poppy to fall a little bit behind in CS. You know, it's not that big of a deal as long as it doesn't get out of hand. We'll see how the trap does lair. Look at this, they're committing all in.
Shackling his soul down. Biofrost will fall after the flash was played in mid. And there might be a dark binding coming out here. The kill! Oh, he's gonna stay alive too! Olay and Cody's son come up big.
That was massive, and they are playing this kind of oddball bot lane to perfection. I mean, Morgana's not something you see a lot anymore, and Olay is showing he is so good at it, just nailing binding after binding. He flashes in, commits the ultimate, just great play from the Immortals bot lane, and not what I was expecting coming to this game. TSM focused so much on disadvantaging their bot lane, and they're still losing.
See this one more time. He even shielded out of that.
Yep, look at that. Binding into trap, into soul shackles, everything layered up. Then Olay has the confidence. He says, even if I die, I will land this binding. Nails it. Heal comes in from Cody's son. Barely able to stay alive. They get the 2-for-2 outplay.
Well, it may not be a revisit down there for Svenskeren too soon, or maybe even sooner to get those kills back for Wild Turtle and Biofrost. We actually haven't seen any Chain of Corruption initiations here.
No. And I mean, Turtle had his flash there. Like, he didn't even use that flash, so I guess he thought he could outplay it or would have been able to kill off Olay, but it does go down despite it, giving up that second kill.
So Scuttle grabbed him bottom. Everything that he can get, he knows he's falling a little bit behind. It's not too bad. Little fight up in the top lane as mid lane gets their hands dirty as well. This is onto Pobelter. Pobelter just came back onto the rift. He gets sent back, and it looks like Dardoch he does not come up short on another kill. That was close. Able to grab Bjergsen down, and this fight's still going. It started when the other one did.
The fight that never ends.
The fight that never, ever ends. There's a song about that once.
Unless the jungler comes up and kills you. That's when it ends.
Oh.
Flame
Tries to put down the verdict.
Early flash.
Gonna dodge. Ooh. Actually, that was a really nice hit throw by Svenskeren. He actually threw the Sonic Wave up for the dodge.
Yep. Was well placed, and you know, Flame, he didn't flash early. He waited to reactively do it. That's the optimal play. If you flash early and then he hits you, it feels bad. But either way, Immortals, did they kill Biofrost and the bot lane at the same time? Biofrost died again, so they get the turret, and this Immortals bot lane is huge. We're going to see it here once more. No flash onto Biofrost, lands the Soul Shackles into the trap. Perfect execution. These guys are on fire in the bot lane.
It's like a different version of Tom Kench. Jinx. Just lock him up, trap him up, take him down.
And when you get that far ahead, you can just go so aggressive. I mean, Olay is 2 levels up on Biofrost now.
I guess I should say it the other way around. Jinx and Kench is a version of this. 5-2, 15 minutes in, and we'll see if Cody's son can keep carrying, helping to carry from this position. Dardoch as well, 2-0. Keeping on par with the game. Pobelter has just not had fun, though. They are making sure, even with pressure to the bot lane coming out of picks and bans, they are making sure Pobelter has a bad day.
Oh, TP to the bot side. They're going to look to catch out Turtle here. Yeah, here's Maokai, and I think it's all over, Turtle. It was fun while it lasted, buddy.
There's one hit. Arcane smash back. Jump. Oh, no. Okay. Still had to force the flash there.
Yeah.
Turtle tries to slalom through the minions and trip them up.
I mean, Biofrost was kind of close, but I still think you just accept your death there. You know, blowing the 2 summoners there on Turtle almost guarantees that now there can be a repeat all-in. Even if the junglers don't visit, if he tries to match up against Olay, he's shown he has the confidence to flash forward, go for these ultimates, and there's going to be no way for Wild Turtle to get out of that. So may spell death once more for Turtle later on.
Turnaround from this bot lane. Now towards the top to take down the next turret. Around the horn they go. Mid lane will be the next pressure, which is actually already getting hit up. So TSM has quite a bit to think about here on the plate. It looks like it's just going to be Bjergsen to stop the top side. He should be able to do so, it looks like. Good job by Biofrost as well.
Fun thing to point out, just talking again about Morgana and the easy interaction with Frostfang is Olay has almost earned 800 gold from Frostfang stacks already in this game, whereas Biofrost, by comparison on the Karma, it's much harder to proc it, has only about 400. So you can see how much extra gold you can get from that, and look at the massive gold lead that he has. But Dardoch going in on Bjergsen. Oh, nice black shield.
Great thinking by Ole. They're going to be able to get out of this one.
That's another turret.
Yep. Great pressure. Knowing he had the support of Ole behind him, they go in simply and easily to take down the turret. Now down finally towards this mid lane. A bit of a push here by Biofrost and Turtle. They may have to exit straight down.
Yeah, this has been such a nice series to watch, Svenskeren and Dardoch. Both these guys really are showcasing their skills and making their arguments for being the best jungler in the league. These guys have just been massive. The NA talent in jungler, like the jungle pool is so strong this year. Yeah. We've seen Acadian really show up. Even though his team hasn't been winning, he's been looking great. Contracts, who's going to be playing later today, he was insane in his first series. We have Dardoch, we have Svenskeren, we have Reignover. There's so many good junglers here this year, and it's really been impressing me to see all these guys living up to the hype early on.
Definitely excited to see it, especially, you mentioned the names, but the new blood in general, to see the type of play they bring, the aggression, the fact that they're backing up, not trash talk, but the talk that I think I'm the best, and I'm going to show you that. I'm not going to temper my play.
Confidence.
That's the confidence. It's great to see coming into a new season.
Yeah, especially because, you know, Katie had talked about it in his interviews. The ability to have the confidence to play aggressive, even your first times on stage, right?
Yeah.
And that's what these guys are showing. Cody-san, you know, he's new, and he is smashing Wild Turtle right now, a seasoned vet. You know, Ole, not a new player, but new to the North American scene, and they're working so well together. They're not backing down, even when getting targeted in picks and bans. That definitely is promising for the Immortals squad, who most people had talked about. Yeah, well, they have Flame, they have Dardoch, they have Pobelter, but their bot lane is probably a weakness. They're showing, hey, maybe we're not. Maybe they can be a strength. They can carry.
Right. Also have to think about TSM's bot lane as well. Wild Turtle, Biofrost trying to get their synergy together. Has seemed to affect the team quite a bit in the past games. 6-2 here as we come up to the mid turret, and those are the guys that are in mid, Wild Turtle, Biofrost, but they are forced to do nothing as too much power from Immortals is brought down on that mid turret, and that means all three are down, really without theirs being hit.
Yeah, they walk around the map, they clean up all that outer gold that they can grab, and Turtle still didn't have his flash from that bot lane play, so you cannot pose aggressively by that turret, or you could get flashed on. You can get taken out very easily. And because of all these turrets going down, they're using this Caitlyn so well. They're using her to siege, to move around the map, to pick up all this gold, and their gold lead is ballooning. They are really doing a great job of it. Does he go for it? Oh! Nice try. Oh, wow.
That is still aggressive. Kicks back Dardoch. They say, Riptide will take it off. The hit back, that was the verdict on Flame. He's going to be able to help back into the fight, and now they scatter. Dardoch does not get that. And he's down.
1-for-1 trade, but nice mechanical play there from Svenskeren. He actually baited out the Black Shield on Ole, then kick flashes Dardoch back in, knowing it was already down. So clever play. Does result in the 1-for-1, so it's not the end of the world really for Immortals, but showing off some of those Lisa mechanics.
Well, says, thank you very much. Looks like that one, he was denied a few this game. We'll see it once more.
Yeah, so here it is again. He knows his team is moving over, and he wants to go for a play here. There it is. Black Shield used, kick flash onto Dardoch, who was revealed with that E, I do believe. So Dardoch goes down, Ole flashes out. Is the trade not too bad, but still, flashy play.
Cody-san. Actually, they have enough vision. I was going to say roaming around is a little dangerous right now with the amount of kills he has. Somebody would love that gold. But he has the safety on every side. Immortals here somehow catapulting themselves quickly, obviously with the gold of the turrets. But even after a very clean early game by TSM, hitting up a few lanes, making sure things worked in their favor, and then Dardoch said, all right, we'll kill Haunter again, and we'll start it all over like game one.
Yeah, I mean, Sven has put so much effort to getting Bjergsen ahead this game.
Yeah.
And while they have killed Pobelter twice, Bjergsen didn't get either of the kills. The CS is very comparable. Admirable job by Pobelter keeping it close, especially with all the focus that he has gotten. So really, you know, they put a lot of eggs in the Bjergsen basket, and it's not paid off just yet. But as we know from last game, doesn't mean it won't pay off later.
Oh, trying for a double hit up. They go for Wild Turtle. He is going to pop in this fight. Svenskeren safeguards back to Bjergsen as he went for the back line as well. Pobelter lost his life, and now they will start to back. Haunter gets himself in this one with a teleport, and it looks like the Realm Warp will be held. That would have been a little crazy.
I call worth for TSM. I mean, they kill off Pobelter there. They lose Wild Turtle, but Turtle is already behind, and both summoners were blown from Pobelter to actually get that kill. So Svenskeren, once again, nice reaction there. He sees Pobelter come forward. He makes the turn. Pobelter commits. but there is that room prison. Sensor goes in, executes him as his AD dies, but good little combo from the mid lane jungle with TSM to be able to grab one back.
It's going to turn into the fights back and forth once again. Teams are very temperate as they go in. You have the one guy that takes a kill and dies.
Yeah, both junglers moving up here as well as support, so this could be a fight here, Riv.
The domino effect is coming in. Everybody's starting to converge. Push back,
nice
Flame.
y'all.
Nicely done out of the fight as well.
Flame still wants it. They're going to keep chasing. He does have the CC.
Monster was saying, let me in front, I want out. Puts down the presence. No more jump in from Flame or Dardoch just yet. Hail of Arrows slows them down on the re-entry. And they are able to waltz this one out. A little bit of a dance there down the lane. Bot lane is Bjergsen Pobelter, and that is not something Pobelter wants.
Yeah, he better run for the hills. I think he's a goner.
Yeah, he's a goner. There's the ghost on. Not going to be able to do much. He can hit these Qs. Oh my god, Pobelter coming up very quick. Almost got another sphere.
If he had that Q, might have been a kill there, but yeah. Immortals now making the risky call. Darda very low. Will they rush the Baron or will they back off? They're committing, it looks like, Riv.
This could be catastrophic. There's the chain of corruption. It goes down. Sonic Wave is on the Baron. You're going to be Svenskeren. Safeguards out. And that's all they want. They say we don't even need the fight.
Huge risks taken by Immortals. They want to put the nail in the coffin, shut this game out. Instead, Sven comes up huge again for TSM.
I can see what Dardoch was thinking. There was like 3 or 4 Barons he got last game over Sven. He's like, I could do this, but not this time. It's not every time, and this one mattered a lot.
And Kha'Zix has the isolated Q plus Smite combo, so that's true. It's pretty good combo, but here it is. Bjergsen setting up that pick in the bot lane. He's gonna go for it, and a couple whiffs on the Q. Nice dodge there by Pobelter. He's dodging back forth, dodges again. If he hits this Q, it's really close. Would have probably got a trade kill, but then they decide to go for the rush, and Flame is not here to actually tank the Baron. Svenskeren gets here in time. They could have just backed off, but they make the call to commit for it. They have the confidence in Dardoch. And then Sven, he lands the Q. This is when you stop damaging. You don't keep going when Lee Sin has the Q on the Baron because he gets the execute. Instead, they give Sven the advantage in that smite. That really was a bad play from Immortals. If you wait and the Q expires, Kha'Zix has the advantage with the Q smite. He probably would have won had they waited.
That's right. Dardoch exclaiming his love for chocolate. 8 and 5 on the board, 25 minutes in. TSM now starts to beat back on Immortals here.
Yeah.
Bot lane's going to be Svenskeren and Bjergsen. I don't know if the wards are here to let them know that this is going to happen, but Pobelter may not have a fun time.
I mean, they get the turret gold, they get the Baron gold. This was a massive lead for Immortals, and now it's pretty much all gone. They are up a little bit, but the amount of gold lead now is pretty much irrelevant. It's not that big of a deal.
Cody Sun's banking. 2.4, 2.2 over Wild Turtle right now.
But then look at the mid lane, right?
Exactly.
It really starts to even out. And that's the problem, is they kind of threw their advantage there. They really wanted it to be the death blow, where they put themselves so far ahead, start cracking the second tier turrets. Instead, TSM is going to walk around. They're going to take up probably at least a second one here from Hanser, and we'll see if Immortals can answer back, because the mid lane turret's about to die. They don't want to give up all 3 of these turrets.
Good shield, good
TP
movement.
in from Flame.
They still wanted it.
Nice
binding. Following.
binding.
You can see Pobelter coming around as well. Any escapes or entries into the fight are going to be his, and the team is able to lock down that first one. Nicely done.
Yeah, good execution there from Immortals, because the top lane was being pushed by Hanser. They needed to do something about it. They didn't have anyone to answer, so instead they make the play mid lane, and now Hanser pretty slow to base. Can Immortals get damage on this inhibitor turret while Bjergsen is dead? We'll have to see if they want to commit to it. They have some minions, and they have Caitlyn to siege.
Slide it out. Karma, good wave clear. That can only get not even really a hit on the turret unless it was an auto attack, maybe from Ole. Bots finally, or I should say, bottom of top is pushing out for them now on the side of Immortals. And they're all just going to pan back out, grab up the resources. Got an Infernal Drake coming up in 1 minute here. Immortals actually controlling dragons throughout this series very well.
They really have been, and this next one will be a big one. Double Infernal is a big advantage to give over to Immortals with a lot of guys building damage here. TSM will clear up that middle lane turret, but if TSM can equalize the 1-for-1, then there's no advantage. Giving up that 2-for-0 is really big, and TSM will look to set up and try to fight for this. They also do have TP advantage now because Flame committed his to the earlier play, so it may have been the call from TSM. Hold TP for the dragon fight.
Clear out wards with the bloom. Get Dardoch off a few of them, so TSM actually has some good deep wards here as this dragon is about to come up. Teleport up for Haunter, obviously. Bjergsen only has a small run from the bot lane to come up on Rise.
A really big thing to track in this next fight is how successful the players with the gold are. How does Bjergsen and Svenskeren do? And how do Cody Sun and Dardoch do? That's where most of the gold is focused on these teams. So those players need to be successful for them to win these fights. And the TP is coming in. Yep. They're just trying to rush it down. They should be Immortals, but is it TSM's fight?
Bjergsen actually had a link to the back line there, but the ward gets killed.
Here they come. Dardoch knocked out. That's one of the big gold leaders.
He's coming back in from the side. Cody Sun staying very nicely on the back. Ole just next to him. And Flame knows he is the meat wall. Up in front, Pobelter looking to scatter the weak. Nobody's really behind the ball, though, so he sends it to the left. A new one on Haunter and Bjergsen, and really nobody can find the initiation here.
Yeah, that's very well handled by Immortals. They already got the big prize. They got the Infernal Dragon. Walk out clean, and I could see a little bit of frustration there from TSM as they definitely wanted to make that play, and they weren't able to make it happen, even though they knew it was coming.
Nice shot. That's all there is to it. Cody Sun starting to pick up a bit now.
Yeah, the 3 items.
Yep, 402.
Those 3 items is really what you talk about as Caitlyn's kind of huge breaking point, where you have 80% crit, you have the IE to kind of benefit that as well, and you become a powerhouse at this point. So Cody Sun, if he is free firing, he's going to be massive, but he will need to pick up more items to start dealing with the tanks, get that armor pen. Either way, though, the amount of team fight damage he should put out compared to Turtle is going to be a big gap. Cody Sun should be much more powerful in the team fights, assuming he can stay alive.
TSM now kind of being forced to use a few scrying orbs just to see their own jungle. Really not getting the advantages out of it.
Yeah, it is an interesting trend we've seen. It's something that I've been tracking a little bit, is kind of the move over to more and more of these blue trinkets. More and more teams are picking up 2 and 3 instead of just staying on the kind of classic 1, because they want to always be able to have one up on demand to check these objectives, to check the bushes, to make sure they're not getting caught out at the wrong time, because it can be so punishing. But what you're sacrificing, obviously, is the persistent vision that those yellow wards can give you.
Side lane swaps, trade out. What kind of fight, now again, as we come to it 30 minutes in, are we looking for, say, IMT side? Who can they look for? You're going to have Poppy, Svenskeren both going to the back line. How do you prevent this?
Well, I think a lot of it is going to be to do, with Flame, with Ole, being able to CC those guys, keep them back, and TP coming in from Flame. They're looking for the flank on a Turtle.
Oh, hell of arrows. Slows him down right away.
Flame needs to back off. He's just by himself now.
He doesn't know the team is getting hit. 4v1 for Flame. Dardoch starting to fire on the right side of the screen. Flame about to get snuffed out here. A little bit of damage tried to be put on the Baron there by Pobelter if Flame was able to get over and hit up TSM, but none of that happens.
That was just awful from Flame. I mean, yeah, I understand what he's trying to do, but when he flashed and he didn't get him, he needed to walk back to his team. No one was chasing. That really talks to a lack of communication there, because Haunter was already caught. He just walks back to his team. They kill off Haunter for free. Then you have your Maokai. He can be taking Baron. You can be threatening those kind of things and looking for a 5v4 fight. Instead, it's an even trade, and your top laner blew both the summoners.
It seems like the collapse is going to definitely work, as you said, over towards Dardoch, but I'm sorry, the other side. 10-6 now, 31 minutes in. It's only a 2,000 gold lead for Immortals, so really you could say no lead almost. They try to push down once again towards TSM's side, but it's actually being stopped much sooner here.
Yeah, the gold lead,
understanding that playbook.
not a big deal at all. Where they do have their lead, once again, Dragons, right? And double Infernal. Those are a lot more combat power than the Cloud Drakes that they had last time around. And it's also going to mean, as we get to these later stages, when the Elder Dragon spawns, you can multiply the attack damage and the AP bonus from the Infernal Dragons, and you can get that massive true damage burn. So it can be something they can look for once more. But it's a very even game, all things considered, and it's a lot closer at this time than the last one was, where Immortals, had been kind of cracking the base and stuff.
Trying to figure out the ins, the outs. Like, where's, you know, Svenskeren, there's still the option for the plays. We were talking about at Worlds as late game came up. Where's the kick? But then we've seen that kick shielded already a few times, but yeah, speed of Ole. So you're seeing why things are tempered. There's almost no engage to be had unless you find Flame on the other side of the map. So what happens to the rest of the crew?
So Immortals is going to move straight to Baron. They have to commit to this, but Svenskeren could look to steal again. He's still there. TP now coming in from Haunter. Flame is dead.
On the Baron.
Back off.
Haunter's going to be in. Yeah, Flame's down on this one. Baron's just going to be left out. They want the full fight. A great
They
set
kept
of
it low.
traps.
TSM could go right back in. Bjergsen's running up, and TSM could look to now just force this Baron, but they do let it reset.
Haunter does not want cupcakes. Good line of traps, really negating TSM to get in there and take out any members.
Still, Bjergsen pushing in the mid lane. TSM can move right back to that Baron. Haunter clearing out all the traps, and this is very risky now for Immortals.
Right, I was gonna say that was gonna give Bjergsen backline entry if Cody-san was coming up so slow, but they joined the team. Dardoch is just on the outside. He wants revenge on this smite. He gets pushed back. Spell immune for Dardoch. He goes in. The smite is not had by him. It's Svenskeren's once again, and they're looking at Cody-san up against the wall. The rest of the team will follow through. The Sonic Waves hit. The verdict is he flashes over the wall, and a few more hits is what it takes to get him to go down. Ole's going to make it out alive, but again, TSM come up with the Baron in a much better position on the map.
Exactly, and again, it's Flame getting caught, giving up his life. Pobelter may get chased down here too now. Is pretty low. We'll get away for now, but now the gold swings back to TSM, and they are really just playing better in the later stages of this game. They kill off Flame in the bot lane, they TP up Poppy to the top lane, they keep it low, and then they turn for the fight. Pobelter's so low, he really can't participate. Dardoch goes for the smite, but it's Svenskeren who wins once again. Dardoch's down, it's full retreat for Cody-san. Needed to probably flash out of there early, and instead, that's the Fed member getting caught out, getting taken down. Immortals gives up multiple kills, gives up the Baron, gives up the Dragon. What else are they gonna lose?
They're actually going to start losing a lot of the resources in the jungle. It looks a lot like what Immortals was doing to TSM last game, putting all their vision forward and denying it. TSM was having a lot of trouble even getting vision of Fog of War on the map. There's that Cloud Drake over for TSM. Another turret as well as, like we said, better control for when they got this Baron to the last one. The minion waves were ready to be pushed. They were able to work off this much faster. Now to the mid lane. It's still open. Ults are up on the side of Immortals, but a lot of those summoners are down.
Yeah, they certainly are. And, you know, Cody-san had an amazing laning phase along with Ole, but they have not really been able to use that Fed Caitlyn ever since taking down the outer turrets. That was kind of really what they had gotten done with it. In these last quite a few minutes, Flame died up in top side, then he got caught in bot side, died there. And they have not been able to utilize the Fed Caitlyn. You kind of need that front line protecting you, giving you the ability to free fire and really pump out that damage.
3 down mid, 1 towards top is Bjergsen. And the traps aren't going to stop these guys too much. Haunter will step up to the turret here. It's calling over Dardoch as well. Not much out of position, I would say, but definitely costing them top turret. They're going to focus on this mid one.
Yeah, it's so hard to answer this Baron push as the minions are so tough to take down. And they're looking for an execute on Svenskeren.
It's exactly what you need, somebody to think they're safe when they are really in the danger zone. Dardoch figured that out. He gets himself a kill onto Svenskeren. I'm sorry, that was Cody-san's follow-up.
A really big thing here, though, for TSM is, yeah, you lost your jungler, but there's no objectives. There's nothing for Immortals to really take. There's no Baron up. There's no Elder up. So really, all it's going to give them is maybe a little bit of vision, push out the minion waves, delay the Baron a bit, but still, it's not that bad for TSM. It's a really big pick for Immortals to at least stem the bleeding, but unfortunately, they can't get more from it.
Bjergsen very close to getting that 100 CS over on Pobelter, 383 to 303. And we can see he can almost help drop Flame in an instant with Haunter. So they're looking pretty good on being able to drop the tank. Flame was a really big reason actually TSM couldn't do anything but hide in their base last game. This time he's been measured a little bit more.
Yeah, certainly has. Has not been having the best game, but You know, a lot of it really has just kind of come down to the junglers. It has been a junglers series as Svenskeren and Dardoch have been going blow for blow in the early game, both seeming to make all their ganks work, and it coming down to these smite fights in the later stages. And really the difference in this game has been Svenskeren nailing the smite on both Barons. That's really the separation between the teams.
Coming down to the bans as well, it was Immortals saying the AD carry is what we want to ban out. We're afraid of Wild Turtle, Biofrost, and what they can produce with an Ashe Zyra. But we'll give Svenskeren the Lee Sin. That seems all right. So maybe there was a bit of, not miscommunication there, but the want to be able to say, hey, give him Lee, and then whatever else TSM got just made such an A-team. Really is having an impact on this game, as you said.
And that is why I think that the new pick and ban system is so exciting, because it's so multifaceted. It's not just one solved way to do the pick and bans.
Yeah.
You ban based on champion pool, based on player, based on playstyle. There's so many things from game to game that can change it up, and that's why I think we're seeing more picks, and hopefully we'll continue to see more picks, and hopefully it doesn't get solved and then, you know, that kind of thing. But it's been very exciting. Pobelter down here in the bot lane. He's looking to bait in Bjergsen with Dardoch behind him, but Svenskeren is there too.
It's almost at this point, you don't think about it when you're the player baiting. You're like, I'm going to bait this guy. You should probably think to yourself, he's baiting me. That's usually the way you go down and then say, oh yeah.
The baiter becomes the baitee.
Thinking the same thing. So the Dragons still helping out Immortals a little bit here as they defend their base, causing TSM to think twice here and there. We still got a minute 40 on both our objectives as the resources are cleaned up in the jungle. Flame always likes long walks in the top lane. He pushes back Hanser. They're just taking a breathing moment right now.
Yeah,
Maybe
the Maokai really has not been more effective than the Poppy this time around. So you can see both teams are looking to kind of get picks on the side lanes, right? Bjergsen now moving up to the top side. So if Flame stays too far up there, they can look to engage with the Realm Warp. They can look for those sorts of picks. And Dardoch has just been kind of shadowing his side laners. As Flame moves up, he moves over there. As Pobelter moves up, he moves over there. He wants to be in position to really help out wherever it's needed and to look for one of those kills that could have, hopefully for them, you know, kind of spur them into some action and get something done.
Say Ole looked like he was, I'm sorry, Cody Sun looked like he was going bot lane. Like, wait, okay, Flame's already there. Let's stay mid. Great trap lines coming in from Cody Sun, really stopping any quick initiations. Maybe Svenskeren trying to get into the Sonic Wave and make the plays we've been talking about that kind of wowed those at Worlds. But right now, Immortals in the position TSM was in game one. Backs against the wall. Looking to really make an impact here. One big fight, I think, is what it's going to come down to again to really open this one up.
It certainly could. And one thing to track is Bjergsen is at his strongest point now. He has completed all his items. He's a full item up on Pobelter, but the longer the game goes, the more time it is for Pobelter to kind of close that gap, right? There's no more room for Bjergsen to grow. And you know, he will be tailing off in power compared to Pobelter from this point forward. So the question becomes, when do they make their move? When do they try to go for the fight? Are they patient enough to just kind of wait it out? And Hanser now maybe caught here, but TSM has position on the Baron. What's the trade going to be?
Baron gets hit. It's
This
actually
is not worth
turret
it
as
if they get
well.
the Baron.
They're pulling Cinder down. They're not going to be able to do
They're
much.
going to go for Elder.
Because they're going to have to guard that top inhibitor. So yeah, they get Baron. Elder goes over. Immortals. Very nicely done. A trade. We'll see how it works. Immortals does have those 3 Drakes, so it's going to be very nice for them.
So the big thing here now, this is a conscious choice. Immortals knows they're giving up Baron, but they traded for the kill on the Elder. Now Immortals needs to capitalize on this. They have this shorter buff, this extreme power that they're getting from this buff, where it's amplifying their AD AP even more. They're getting the true damage burn. They need to fight right now with this up, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Hanser is down. They have this window of power, 2.5 minutes. They want to capitalize. TSM needs to hold on and utilize their Baron after it has expired.
And that's what makes it so intense, because TSM knows that as well. They realize they may be engaged on. Immortals is going to try to do everything they can right now. Even with that knowledge, you're forced to give it up. You're forced to say it's still too dangerous.
Yep, it's the right call. You don't want to fight that into this buff with Hanser dead. So now Immortals, what else can they get done? If that's all they lose and TSM can move up, maybe get something back with the Baron buff, could be okay. But Immortals is looking to set up maybe a trap or go somewhere else, because right now they're kind of skulking around in the jungle. Dardoch has been spotted out on this ward, and they now know.
Oopsies. They make it out. It actually looked like for a second Bjergsen and the team were setting up for like a round warp out of the base to hit that Raptor brush or something. I was waiting for it.
Would have been exciting.
Yeah, it would have been real exciting. All of Immortals stayed. Flame again. Leashing up that top lane. Get it reset, get it pushed up to that turret. But he's got the opposition of Haunter on the other side. Those teleports are up, so we don't really have to worry about those two guys getting to the fight. We'll watch Ole walk around, support his teammates. Great shield, great bindings from him this game. He's really just been in the right spot at the right time for whoever needs assistance.
Yeah, not much to nitpick from Ole's play this game. He has just been great. Now, you know, Immortals, I don't really expect TSM to give them a fight with the tail end of this Elder. The Baron will outlast it, and that is where TSM will try to get their advantages back. Try to siege up, maybe be able to get something done here. But Immortals, it's a pretty smart move, and it's a bold shot call, so I am impressed by that.
Kind of the consideration of if they do get in a bad fight, what can they give up for the next? I'm sure that's what they're thinking in this fight, since it's always been a 1-for-1 or 1 for something between these teams. Across the map, a lot of pressure. I'll say a few people walking up towards that top side of the map right now. We're gonna go ahead and set up some bushwhacks once again. Map is clear.
Oh, they want this TP coming in from behind. Remember, there's no turret.
Who's Flame got? He goes actually for Haunter, so Haunter can't get to the back line. Bjergsen hitting up Flame. We know the damage is enough to take him down. The team can't follow him in through the choke point. And he's gonna go down after GA2.
Yeah, Cody-san and Pobelter got ejected from the fight by Haunter. That was just so well done by Haunter. Wins that fight, and Flame too far up by himself again as his backline gets ejected and Immortals has no damage left. And just such a nice play there by Haunter. I'm not sure if it was even caught on the screen. That was really what won the fight. So.
Flame tried to go for him too, instantly. Like, I gotta stop Haunter from being a menace. It's too late. The push down here from TSM. We're gonna keep it on the mid turret to see if they can keep going. Karma Shield mantra'd up for the rest of the team as they get a little bit of safety here for a few hits on the turret. Now onto the inhibitor turrets. 26 seconds still for Flame. The bot lane building up for them. Top is pushing out for Immortals.
Then Scared is taking turret damage.
And it looks like TSM actually won't be able to finalize this one just yet. They back off to keep themselves safe.
Yeah, they will have to back off. Still, the inhibitor advantage goes the way of Immortals. Elder will be on the table, and you know, it's still quite a ways off. And here's that fight once more. And there's the Poppycopter knocking out the backline. Ole with the black shield on himself. Ooh, I don't know about that one. And Dardoch cannot get caught here. He needs to get out.
Oh, hit the ult. Can he hit it again? No street bomb.
Bjergsen, he almost took him out there, but Bjergsen pops the Zonias in, and Dardoch going for the solo play, trying to carry the game. Ends up giving up his life there, and a really long death timer, and that is big. Very risky play. He was up by himself.
Also using that bit of gold. He had about 700 going back there. Elixir of Wrath for him. Wants that extra damage. Bjergsen might have fallen. So now we're actually putting a little bit of money into elixirs here, knowing that items aren't going to be flowing into his pocket at this point in the game. He does need a little something extra.
Yeah. Those elixirs always smart to buy. You know, you do see some players, Bjergsen, one of the big ones who would always do this, buying elixirs early in the game because they are very gold efficient for that time window. So if you think, hey, we're about to have a big mid-game dragon fight, you can go for it.
Oh, they realm in Haunter to show Bjergsen, trying to fake him out. It doesn't pull too many forward. Haunter very low, comes back up from his GA. He's gonna go down. Svenskeren just as close to going down now. And remember, that's Dardoch coming back up into this fight. Flame in the front, big damage on Dardoch. Hits from Wild Turtle are true, and they stay on Flame. They're able to take him down. And Dardoch just cannot make it in time as he just comes out of the base.
It felt like Cody-san probably could have stepped up there, been a bit more aggressive, but he was so worried about Bjergsen on the side. He didn't get involved in the fight, and a botched initiation from TSM does not go nearly as bad as I would have thought it was going to there. It looked like Bauerfrost and the rest of the team might have got chased down.
Well, in the beginning, everybody had just red blinking health bars, and the GAs gave focus to IMT. They had to focus a bit.
Still, here is Immortals. They're looking for the seed. And he goes Sven. Kicks Dardoch out.
Yeah.
Good jump there from Dardoch, very quick.
Blue team's turret
14 seconds on Haunter. They're able to hold it, and that minion wave pushing on the bot side. Winions for TSM.
Yeah, and Haunter's going to be up before Flame, so Immortals needs to back off. Haunter has the TP. If they stay around, they're going to get flanked. So they have to base. They have to clear this up. And this game is turning into a lot like last game, where it's going to be one fight that really decides it.
Pobelter sitting on a bunch of gold. 2,000 right now, trying to finish the final item. Fortunate when you're sitting on that much money and everything else is full in the inventory.
And there it goes. He buys up that Zonia, so he will have that final item now. And he has finally caught up to where Bjergsen is in that item progression. And this is going to be a very frightening Syndra. Even though he's 0-4 and 4, he's 6 items. It doesn't matter. If he catches the right person with his combo, they will die.
So far, within the few games we've seen, Immortals has somewhat of a clean kind of 5 to 15 that mid game. Early game this time was TSM for the first few levels. And then they've just been trading back and forth. These two teams, 20 minutes plus, just continue to take punch for punch and still stand straight up and take another one. Here now, Immortals' turn down mid lane. As we just saw, they lost that inhibitor turret. Bjergsen is on that right now, so they may have to pay respects to it, but they're down mid for their inhibitor.
And Flame, very confident in the front line, but he has been a bit too confident at times in this game, getting ahead of himself, and we'll see if he can hold up in the front line now. Looks like TSM wants to go on Flame.
Vengeful Maelstrom is down. Black Shield as well. He has actually taken a whole heap of damage absorbed into himself, and now they're going to go ahead and get the inhibitor. Bjergsen, as we said, has come back for the fight. And they walk out with that one. One and done.
And it was a nice ejection there from Haunter on Pobelter. Made Immortals back up, regroup again for a bit, but they were able to stay alive and finish off that inhibitor. Oh, and now Haunter may be caught.
The shield as well. Alerts Karma is close. TSM moving up wards in the mid lane anyways. IMT knows they have to reposition here so they don't get routed forward their inhibitor, and it doesn't look like TSM is going to race them on this.
Now, we have to track Flame here, because Flame was trying to base. He did get stopped right now as TSM moves towards that Baron, but you know, he can look for these TP flanks, and he can look for the TPs, because TSM has the immediate advantage right now. They're starting up the Baron right away. Will they commit?
If they can
this
get
is a risky position.
Get it safe.
Nice binding on a Biofrost.
Bot lane pushing in huge. If this fight's won by TSM, that's going to seal the deal. And Immortals feels the pressure. Flame goes very low, very quick with low mana, and he cannot participate in this fight safely.
Yeah, Flame needs to get back and clean up those minion waves, but TSM is trying to keep him here by constantly starting up the Baron, so they're trying to delay it as much as they can. There's no inhibitor turret to cover that top lane inhibitor, and TSM, they're just trying to rush straight forward. They're going to try to take the top lane inhibitor.
They're saying, look at the waves we have to work with. Don't waste that time. Oh,
Back
wait.
to Baron.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait.
And Flame didn't even get to finish clearing out the minion wave, so that turret will survive, but the wave is still going to be there. And now he's TPing. He's way ahead of his team. I don't think he should. This is risky.
The indecisive call. He gets kicked out. Can't get himself back in. It's still stolen, but it took them a long time. IMT knew TSM had gone back and forth. The whole run gave him time to set up. Is it enough time to win a fight? Flame goes down. A huge hit by Pobelter. And all of the TSM members are scattered for a second. Bjergsen goes down. They're going to be able to drop Pobe now. And they go towards, I'm sorry, not Pobe. They go towards the back of the fight anyways. Turtle's the next one. And he goes down. Pobe's still chasing. His health is low, but it's not going to be enough to take him down. It's just Dardoch that fell.
That's going to be it, Riv, as Immortals are going to walk down mid and tie up the series 1-1.
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if we have to scream this one through, but Immortals, again, having a game that was pretty solid in the early game. Both teams kind of deciding what to do in the mid game. Trading kill for kill, objective for objective, Barons for Elders. And then coming out to another result now, it's going to be in favor of Immortals. They're on the Nexus, another 50-minute matchup, and we're going to Game 3 in the series as Immortals takes Game 2.
Immortals battling back, and what a series it has been. So back and forth between these two teams, and TSM was giving Immortals the runaround, but they got caught coming out of the Baron pit. Pobelter massive in the last fight, nails a scatter of the week on 3 or 4 guys there, and that really sealed the deal in that fight.
I actually thought he got hit up after that. Bad old eyes. But he stays alive. The positioning was impeccable moving in too.
Yeah.
That run from TSM basically said, look at our playbook for this next 10 seconds. We're gonna go down, then you know they're running to Baron. How often do you run side by side really with the team and then prepare to fight, knowing that's coming up? So much time to set up, so much time to see the way they needed to get in as well. Flame, he does not have a stop.